the gruesome murder. They say the devil is in the details. But on the morning of March 15, 2019, when Detective Sarah Martinez stepped into that suburban garage in Riverside, California, she discovered something far worse than details. She discovered a crime scene so disturbing, so meticulously arranged, that even veteran investigators with 20 years on the force had to step outside for fresh air. This is the story of a murder that broke every rule in the book and left one crucial question unanswered for 3 agonizing years. March 15th, 2019, 7:42 a.m. Margaret Chin was walking her golden retriever, Buddy, through the quiet streets of Magnolia Heights, an affluent neighborhood where the biggest crime was usually a forgotten recycling bin left out past pickup day. But that morning, Buddy stopped dead in his tracks outside 2847 Willow Creek Drive. The dog wouldn't move. He just stared at the closed garage door, whimpering. Margaret tried to pull him away, but something caught her eye through a narrow gap at the bottom of the garage door. Something red, something that didn't belong there. She knocked on the front door. No answer. She called her neighbor, Patricia Wu, who had a key to the house. Patricia owned the property and rented it to a quiet tenant named Michael Reeves, a 34-year-old software engineer who worked from home. When Patricia arrived and opened that garage door, both women screamed. What they found wasn't just a body, it was a tableau. Michael Reeves hung from the garage rafters, suspended by industrial chains. But this was no suicide. His hands were bound behind his back with zip ties. His mouth was sealed with duct tape and carved into his chest, deep enough to have been done while he was still alive, with 3 numbers, 647. But that wasn't what made veteran investigators step outside. Around Michael's body, arranged in a perfect circle, were 13 photographs. Polaroids. Each one showed Michael at different moments of his final hours. The progression of terror frozen on his face was undeniable. Someone had documented his death. Methodically, proudly. Detective Sarah Martinez arrived at 8:15 a.m. She'd worked homicides for 18 years. She'd seen drug executions, domestic violence gone fatal, gang retribution. But nothing, nothing prepared her for this. The level of control, she would later say in her testimony, indicated we were dealing with someone who had done this before. This wasn't a crime of passion. This was performance art. The garage had been sealed. No forced entry. No signs of struggle outside the space. The door had been locked from the inside, with the key placed carefully on a workbench, right next to Michael's wallet, phone, and a handwritten note. The note said, "Check the basement." The Riverside Police Department's forensics team spent 6 hours processing that garage. Every surface was photographed, dusted, cataloged. But Michael Reeves's house had one more horror to reveal. In the basement, investigators found what appeared to be a makeshift darkroom. Red lighting, chemical trays, and hundreds, of developed photographs pinned to the walls. But these weren't Michael's photos. They were photos of Michael, taken over weeks, maybe months, walking to his mailbox, sitting in his home office, visible through the window, eating dinner, sleeping. Every mundane moment of his life had been cataloged by someone who'd been watching him. One wall held a timeline. Handwritten notes marked specific dates. March 1st, subject leaves for grocery store 3:47 p.m. March 5th, subject works late. Lights off 11:23 p.m. March 14th, tomorrow. Detective Martinez's blood ran cold. This wasn't random, she told her team. Whoever did this studied him, learned his patterns, and Michael never knew he was being hunted. The coroner's report came back 3 days later. The details were horrific. Michael Reeves had died from exsanguination, blood loss. The cuts on his chest were made with surgical precision, designed to cause maximum pain without hitting major arteries. The time of death was estimated between midnight and 2 a.m. on March 15th. But here's what shocked investigators. Michael had been drugged. Toxicology showed high levels of ketamine in his system, enough to paralyze him, but not enough to make him unconscious. He was awake. He felt everything, but he couldn't move, couldn't scream, couldn't fight back. And someone made sure to photograph every second of his suffering. The investigation hit its first dead end quickly. Michael Reeves had no enemies, no debts, no criminal record. He was a freelance software developer who worked on security systems for small businesses. He had a girlfriend in San Diego who he saw on weekends. His parents lived in Oregon. He kept to himself. He was the most boring victim I'd ever investigated, Detective Martinez admitted. No motive, no suspects, just a good guy who someone decided to torture to death. Then they found the storage unit. Michael had rented a small storage space 2 miles from his house. Inside, investigators found 17 boxes of documents, client files, work contracts, old tax returns. But tucked in the bottom of box number 9 was a manila envelope marked "Do Not Open." Inside were letters, 15 letters, all addressed to Michael, all sent over the course of 6 months, starting in September 2018. And every single one was written by someone who claimed to love him. But these weren't love letters. They were obsession letters. "I watch you through your window at night." One read, "You don't see me, but I see you. I see everything. One day we'll be together. Forever." Another, "You rejected me. You didn't even remember me. But I remember you. I remember everything." The letters weren't signed, but they referenced specific details about Michael's life that only someone close, or someone watching, could know. The investigation exploded. FBI behavioral analysts were brought in. The letters were analyzed for handwriting, DNA, fingerprints. Nothing. Whoever wrote them had been careful. Gloves. No saliva on the envelope seals. Posted from different mailboxes across 3 counties. But one letter, dated March 10th, included a chilling detail. "I found the perfect place to show you how I feel. It's dark. It's quiet. You'll finally understand." 5 days before Michael was murdered, the police issued a public plea. Anyone who knew Michael, anyone who'd had contact with him, anyone who'd seen anything suspicious near his house, come forward. And that's when Emily Novak walked into the station. Emily Novak was Michael's girlfriend of 8 months. She lived in San Diego, about a 2-hour drive from Riverside, and they'd been seeing each other on weekends. She was devastated by his death, but she was also terrified. "I got letters too," she told Detective Martinez. 3 weeks before Michael's murder, Emily had started receiving anonymous letters at her apartment. They were different from Michael's, shorter, more direct. But the message was clear. Asterisk, stay away from him. He's mine, asterisk. Emily hadn't told Michael. She thought it was a prank, maybe a jealous ex. She'd thrown the letters away. Except one. She'd kept one. And when forensics compared it to Michael's letters, the handwriting matched. The killer had been watching them both. But who was she? Because make no mistake, the FBI profilers were certain the killer was a woman. The language in the letters, the emotional obsession, the way the crime scene was arranged, it all pointed to a female offender. She saw herself as Michael's soulmate, one profiler explained. In her mind, they were meant to be together. And when Michael refused to acknowledge her, maybe didn't even know she existed, she snapped. Investigators dug deeper into Michael's past. High school records, college, old jobs. They were looking for a woman he'd forgotten, someone who'd been watching him for years. And then they found her. Jennifer Caldwell, 36 years old, nurse at Riverside Community Hospital, and Michael's co-worker from 7 years earlier. They'd worked together at a tech startup that went under in 2012. According to old employee records, Jennifer had been in the HR department. Michael barely remembered her, but Jennifer remembered Michael. When police arrived at Jennifer's apartment on March 30th, 2019, they found it empty. She'd cleared out days earlier. No forwarding address, no contact information. Her phone was disconnected. Her social media accounts had been deleted months ago, but she'd left something behind. In her bedroom closet, investigators found another darkroom. More photographs of Michael, hundreds more, and a journal. The journal was 400 pages long. Every page detailed Jennifer's life with Michael, a relationship that only existed in her mind. March 12th, 2019. One entry read, "Michael smiled at me today. He doesn't know it yet, but we're meant to be together. I'll make him see. I'll make him understand. If he won't love me in life, he'll love me in death." The final entry, dated March 14th, simply said, "Tomorrow, we become one. 647, our beginning." Those three numbers carved into Michael's chest, 647, were the last three digits of Jennifer's old employee ID number from their time working together. Jennifer Caldwell had vanished, but she'd left a trail. Security footage from a gas station in Nevada showed her SUV headed east on March 16th, one day after Michael's body was discovered. Bank records showed ATM withdrawals in Arizona, then New Mexico, then Texas. She was running, but she wasn't running smart. On April 3rd, 2019, 19 days after Michael's murder, a motel clerk in Amarillo, Texas, called the police. A woman matching Jennifer's description had checked in 2 days earlier under a fake name, but the clerk had seen the news reports. He was certain it was her. When police arrived, Jennifer's room was empty, but she'd left in a hurry. On the nightstand was another journal, smaller, pocket-sized, with entries from the days after the murder. "They'll never understand," she'd written. "What we had was real. I set him free." One page simply said, "I'll join him soon." Jennifer Caldwell was found 2 days later, on April 5th, 2019, in a remote area outside Amarillo. She'd driven her SUV to an abandoned farmhouse and taken her own life with an overdose of the same drug she'd used on Michael, ketamine. Beside her body was a final note, "We're together now. Forever. 647. The case was closed, but the scars remained. Michael Reeves never knew that a woman he'd barely spoken to 7 years earlier had been stalking him, planning his death, documenting his final moments. Detective Martinez still thinks about that case. "It's the randomness that haunts me," she said. "Michael did nothing wrong. He just existed, and in Jennifer's mind, that was enough to justify murder." The Riverside community held a vigil for Michael. Over 200 people attended, friends, co-workers, neighbors who'd barely known him, but were shaken by the brutality of his death. His girlfriend, Emily, spoke at the vigil. Michael was kind. He was gentle. He deserved so much more than this. And I hope, wherever he is, he finally has peace. The case of Michael Reeves remains one of the most disturbing in Riverside's history. Not because of the violence, though that was horrific, but because of the reminder it carries. Sometimes, the danger isn't someone you know. It's someone who thinks they know you. Jennifer Caldwell spent years crafting a fantasy relationship that existed only in her mind. And when reality didn't match her delusion, she decided that if she couldn't have Michael in life, she'd take him in death. The photographs she took, the letters she wrote, the meticulous planning, it all served one purpose: to create a narrative where she was the heroine of a tragic love story. But there was no love in that garage. Only obsession, only control, only horror. If you or someone you know is experiencing stalking or obsessive behavior, please reach out. The National Center for Victims of Crime has resources at victimsofcrime.org. This has been Nightly Crime Cases. Remember to check your surroundings, trust your instincts, and stay safe out there. Until next time.